and EURONICS Gaming. As to the bottom right side, we're going to have our blue Zerg player from EURONICS. It's going to be Hanfi, someone we saw in the qualifiers for EURONICS Gaming, but haven't seen since. In the qualifiers, he did take down Gravity with an all-kill. In the upper left side of the map, we're going to have our red Zerg player from Flipsid Tactics. It's going to be Jon Snow. So some ZVZ to kick us off here into this best of 7, and well, prior on some map we see a lot of ZVZ on. It'd be interesting to see how this goes. Again, EURONICS have to definitely got to be the favourites here. They've only dropped one map so far. When they definitely Flipside have definitely looked very strong in the last week. So I think Flipside are on the up, and it's kind of weird because I really feel as though players such as Jon Snow, players such as Bales and so on from Flipside, I really sort of feel as though we just haven't seen them hit their potential yet in the Team League this season. This is the first time we've seen them play in the SC2ITL this season. They've never played before. They played in the American season once before, I think, when we ran the American League. But yeah, it's just one of these things where, I mean, how do I want to say this? It's like, I don't know. It's just the Flipside players just haven't seemed to live up to their potential, I guess. And okay, maybe it's just because we've not really seen them against any. We've only seen them against the stronger teams so far. Maybe it's that. I don't know. Maybe it's something else. But I kind of feel today. I've got a feeling today Flipside are going to show us something special. I've got a feeling. I don't think there's going to be an all-kill today. I got a feeling. I believe. So, we're going to have this overload coming across the map from Jon Snow. We got both players opened up with a hatchery first, actually, so both of them looking to get this gold base saturated very early on. Jon Snow with a slightly faster gas, and he'll be starting up his Zergling speed momentarily. And we'll just see the exact same happening from Hanfi. So no real differences in the very early stages of this. Jon Snow starts up as Spine Crawlers. He's going to look to stay very defensive here early on in the game. Might just cancel it when he sees the creep spread of his opponent. There we go. And does he really need a Spine Crawler anymore? Well, maybe depending on how he wants to play his mid-game and his follow-up. And yeah, I don't think so. Yeah, exactly. So he's just going to cancel that. So it's just a safety spine, have it going just in case there isn't a natural expansion down. When he confirms that there is, then he's going to obviously be more than happy to just cancel that. And it's kind of like a small investment just to stay safe, as Hanfi does win the Zergling War in the middle of the map here. So he takes down a Zergling, but not, again, anything too crazy, too ridiculous at the very start of this. Hanfi actually already going into a very fast third hatchery over to the right-hand side. So, third hatch going to be on the way up, and Jon Snow not going to delay his own third hatch too long at all either. So, third hatch is on the way down. See a few seconds coming across, and Rotron is going to be a little bit faster here for Jon Snow. Rotron just on the way up right now. Rotron just starting here for Hanfi, as the Zergling speed is actually going to be a little bit faster for Hanfi. Jon Snow delayed his for quite some time, so maybe in a little bit of trouble when it comes to holding on to his third base, and this might just be a little bit of an advantage starting to go into Hanfi's favour. As we're going to see these Zerglings coming in, and they're going to be starting to and continuing to work against this third hatch. So yeah, that hatchery is going to go down. This is a little bit of a shame for Jon Snow. He's got 9 roaches already on the way up. He's going to lose a couple of drones though in his mineral line already, as the first couple of roaches are going to get surrounded. Queen's going to come down to try and help fight. Another drone falls as well. Zerglings will now turn away once they pick off those 2 roaches. And again, Hanfi with a third hatchery already up. His own roaches coming up now as well. Things looking pretty good for him, as Jon Snow also finds himself supply blocked and unable to build too much more just yet. So, Zergling's just going to pull back home. We see this hatchery starting to saturate for Hanfi. He'll start drawing up a little bit more. He made a bunch of roaches. After seeing roaches of his opponent, he has to make some roaches to make sure he's going to be safe. You know, just safe and alive. Yes, just safe and alive, kind of in case his opponent tries to attack him. Roach is well positioned here, split between bases to stop these Zerglings from getting any damage done. However, that's something he's going to have to be cautious of, because we do see these roaches coming up the left side of the map from Hanfi. And if Jon Snow isn't in position to deal with these, this could be very troubling for him here, as he still just looks to get his third hatchery up and running. For halfway done now. There's only still just a few roaches over here. The Ravager's going to start moving in this position as well. They're actually just going to come over to try and get an overlord kill which they'll actually miss the final corrosive bile on. As we're going to see these Lings Roaches coming in towards the 4th, and Jon Snow in a little bit of trouble. He's going to start losing these Roaches before the rest of his army is here. There's some corrosive biles coming down from him, but these Ravagers don't actually hit anything with the corrosive biles, and they're also very out in the open on their own. As Zergling's coming in as well, now these Ravagers are going to find themselves caught, and Hanfi, the way he played this game out was just a little bit better. He had a slightly faster third hatchery. He had a bunch. Let's jump in and introduce our players to the upper right side of the map. Upper game right now in his best of 7. It's going to be our blue Zerg from EURONICS. It is going to be Hanfi. And down to the bottom left is going to be our red Protoss player from Flipsid Tactics. It's going to be Padre. Covers, though, there wasn't a map before that one. It's only been Prime Terraces so far. It's only been Prime Terraces. That's all it's been. That's all it has been. Okay, you're coming down here to start things off. Obviously, there's going to be a PVZ here on Dust Towers. One of the maps where we're expecting to see longer, kind of, just longer games in general. One of these maps where it's very hard for the Zerg aggression, which has been hitting very early and been causing a lot of struggle for many pros players. This is a map where it's a lot harder for that sort of thing to really kind of, it's a lot harder for that sort of thing to really come through and be super annoying or so. So we're going to have this probe popping in, just going to have a look to see what's going on in the early stages of this. Just going to see that's a hatch gas pool, no fast third hatch, so get a little bit of information here. And yeah, cool. What's up, Exit 2014 in the chat as well? How you doing, buddy? Welcome to the stream. And it's a little slow today, isn't it? A little quiet today. Well, actually, that's completely right. You guys are very talkative for how for the viewer count. It's a bit crazy. So hello. I hate the start of PvZ. I just, this matchup just bores me to death in the first 4 or 5 minutes. I actually have no idea how I ever casted this in Heart of the Swarm, because it was exactly the same Heart of the Swarm. It was 5, 6, 7 minutes of absolutely nothing happening, and it's yeah, it's kind of the same in Legacy of the Void, just not as bad. And yet, I'm still sort of, I'm still bored by the early stages just because nothing happens for so long, and we just see very little variety in this matchup, it feels like, all of the time, as we see a couple of things coming out, currently chasing down a probe. So they're going to chase down a probe, and that's, good for them. So the probe getting chased away here, and the Zerglings looking to just try and force that back home. Third hatch will come down from Hanfi, who has started his Zergling speed, just left one worker in gas. A very fast robo facility from Padre. Well, okay, there we go. So we're going to see something a little bit more interesting starting to happen here, with this robo facility starting to come up, and a couple more gates as well. The Zerglings do turn around, which is important because of this Adept wants to deny the scout on the robo facility for, pretty much at all costs, but, well, Overlord poking in, just sees a couple of gates, not too much else just yet. There's this robo facility about to complete, and what's it going to be? Big Immortal in, perhaps? Could be. I mean, what else do you get with a robo facility this early? Maybe just a very fast warp prism and just harass, but I'm not sure if it's really worthwhile to go for that rather than a Twilight and then a robo or something and get Resonating Glaives up. Let's see what he wants to go for. A couple more gates about to finish, as we were just talking about. Evo Chamber on the way for Hanfi, who is streaming a lot of Zerglings across the map, so might be looking to elevate a few up in towards the main base with this Overlord over here. It's just going to be an Observer initially from Padre, so nothing ridiculous just yet. These first Zerglings going to start trying to push up the ramp, but Adept on hold position, Sentry behind it to help out too, but no vision to this right hand side, which is going to start to make this a little bit difficult. Mothership Core is out, but currently positioned over in the natural, which is not going to help too much with this incoming defense against the Overlord dropping Lings off into the main base. Again, Padre, this slight area of his main, which you just can't quite see. It's so painful to look at, right? But he's going to start warping a few more depths now. He's going to see them Lings, so he should be able to deal with this fairly easily. He should see the Mothership Core starting to come into position, or maybe leaves it in the natural, because he does have a pylon there, and these Zerglings do start to run by over into that position. And the main base, whoa, we're actually going to see these Zerglings slipping on by, fast out of death, but for the most part, I mean, I don't think Padre's going to take that much damage. A bit of a force field, which was a little bit off there, but 2 workers killed, not really that many. And so far this has been pretty okay, honestly, for Padre. I mean, obviously not letting the Lings in isn't ideal, and they maybe got one more worker, two more workers now than they maybe should have, and now maybe one more as well. So I mean, what, he got 3 more workers than he should have, but it still wasn't kind of devastating. I mean, you think how many Zerglings were made here instead of drones, and you realise just how good a position Padre is in, as these 2 Zerglings are going to get killed off. Oh no, they get one more probe just before. I thought this one was dead, but it wasn't. And just like that, we're going to see War Prism moving out. A few adepts, a couple of sentries. There's going to be thinking of moving across the map. We have seen some immortals starting to come up here. A few stalkers starting to warp in. I think Padre will just take a 3rd base though. Yeah, take a 3rd base and just macro up from this point. It's not a bad position for him. Again, it's a lot of Lings from hand. He's continuing to just make Zerglings here and really just kind of preparing for an attack. But well, I mean, okay, Padre is attacking, but is he really going to commit? If he commits, this could be very bad for him because there's just so many Zerglings. He doesn't really need all of these, you know. I mean, Padre's got to realize, like, okay, right now he's going to see all these things. He does have sentries to force field with, and he's got a War Prism to kind of micro with as well, but currently he's not force fielding or anything, and, well, it's going a little bit better than I thought it might go initially. He saves a couple of sentries at the end, and, well, he saves one of the sentries in Immortal, but loses the rest of his army. I'm just not sure how, you know, worthwhile that was, really. Just going to see Zerglings continue to come across the map, some Stalkers just moving up the ramp a little bit, and the Zerglings going to hit the counter-attack on the 3rd base, and, well, what is there really over here to defend from Padre? Mothership Core out of position, Stalker's going to let the Zerglings actually surround them on the ramp, and this is starting to fall apart a little bit. We're going to see these units unloading up on the high ground. Zergling's going to be through though, and they can just run to the natural now, where, well, this time there isn't a Mothership Core to defend, so that's going to be at least a handful of workers going down, if not more. 5 workers dead, there's 6, and, well, not going to quite get another one because the whole position isn't quite in the best of positions. We're going to see a couple of Thorn overcharges popped, and that will at least turn away the roaches from the front. Overall, this is still sort of in the balance. I mean, resources lost is still very even, and we see his Protoss play maybe a bit further behind in probes, so it's still a bit better for the Zerg, I suppose, but I guess it's not been too bad. I mean, all the, you know, the important units that he lost here was really only kind of a sentry. He didn't lose a few Stalkers as well, lost a few more probes. I guess he's on 3 bases, though. I guess the Zerg wasn't on a great economy initially when he made all of them Zerglings and did very little with them. As these roaches just pulling back. And Hanfi will just start pushing his group spread out further into the map here. 4th Hatches is about to finish up, as we see, well, an Observer and War Prism just moving onto the map as well. So Padre is going to go and look to harass a little bit here. With 3 Immortals up, he's going into Blink Tech, Robot Bay as well, and a second Robot Facility. A very interesting, different sort of way to play compared to what we usually see with Immortal, Charge Lord, Archon. So a bit of a different composition coming up here from Padre. We'll see where this goes. As we see Muscular Augments currently being researched on the Hydralis Den. +1 weapons is about to finish up as well. And Hanfi with the 4th base finishing also, and the 5th base as a Macro Hatch. Just to sign up for kind of the late game here, getting ready to defend against War Prism play. He's got lots of vision on the map. You can actually see the blue dots of Overlords just dotted around everywhere, able to just kind of spot anything. And so he knows where this War Prism is, and Padre going to have to be paying a lot of attention to make sure he doesn't just lose this to, well, the couple of Hydras that are nearby. And you can see that he realizes his opponent knows about it. He's just going to pull that back and wait for a later point in the game. At later points in the game, there's going to be a lot more gateways up, and that's when he can really be super annoying with the Warp Prism, warping like 10 Zealots in one location, and all of a sudden 10 Zealots hitting on a hatchery. Well, that could die very, very quickly. As we're going to see this Warp Prism coming in, just being forced to pick up once again. 3 drones being killed, so it's, I mean, it's a little something. It's just keeping the Zerg busy and keeping him back while we see the Disruptor count starting to build up here. The first 2 are now out from Padre. 2 more on the way as well. He's starting up Double Forge. But nothing is really slowing down our Zerg play. He's going into Spire, which is going to be great for a potential middleless tech switch. Especially against a Zerg Protoss player who hasn't opened with a Stargate or any Phoenix. We see a Lurker Den on the way as well. So Hanfi just really getting himself set up for the late game. He's going to have access to pretty much anything he would want. And we see this Warp Prism just continuing to move around here. We're going to see, oh, the Warp Prism actually going to get caught by the Queens and the Hydras. Maybe not quite expecting the crew spread to be this far out into the middle of the map. Unfortunately it is, and because of that, the War Prism does go down. Padre's army is scary though. You know, if these Disruptors connect, they are going to do a lot of damage. 12 Mutas on the way, but, well, how scary are 12 Mutalists when there's already a lot of Stalkers in the army? You know, he's already got Blink as well. I think one of the main things with Mutas nowadays is that they're very strong if the Protoss player is going kind of charged on the Mortal Archon. I mean, Mutas are always very strong. It's always, you know, Mutas are never really a bad thing unless there's already a whole bunch of Phoenix out on the map. So they're not a bad thing, but I think with the Protoss player already being in an aggressive position, any kind of base trade which Hanfi tries to instigate here is not going to be super successful. It might still work, but it's not, you know, 100% certain to be like, oh, you know, the Protoss player isn't going to be like, oh crap. Because here we go, the Mutas started coming. Let's see what the reaction is going to be from our Protoss. He already starts to lose some workers. He will keep on attacking. I see him staying over here with this army. Doesn't recall just yet. Starts to whoop in some Stalkers. Now he realizes that if he's going to lose these workers, he has to get at least some damage done over on this side of the map where his army already is. So he's going to kill off this 5th base, but is that enough as well? I don't think it will be. I think he needs a little bit more than just the 5th base. He's actually just going to recall. So 5th base dead, and now he's going to recall. Mutas, one of them will go down, but 18 workers killed, and now more as he comes into the natural. At the same time, main army from Hanfi in towards the 4th base, and Padre going to lose this as well. And this just isn't going his way right now as we see Disruptor being picked off also. Mutas just going to group with the rest of the army. Not sure if that was a cancel or a kill there. As we're going to see, oh, a little bit of the army left behind. And that is devastating because now these Stalkers and the Mortals, well, they don't stand much of a chance on their own. And so Padre are going to lose a little bit more for, again, just no real reason. Mutas continue to fly in, just going to help clean on up a little bit more. And there's a couple more Stalkers going down. Another lone disruptor in the middle of the map though, and Padre really starting to fall apart here in the last couple of moments of this game. We've seen him kind of panic against the Mutalists. I think his army initially was very good to deal with what the Zerg had, but now he's kind of taking a lot of damage, and even if he can take a good fight now, is it really going to be enough? Big blink forwards, he's going to start catching a few of these Hydralisks, and that's something at least. But again, is it, you know, still, is it enough? We're going to see these Lurkers starting to burrow too, which is going to make it very difficult to attack into now as well. And Padre without a 4th base, with a lot of his buildings being unpowered thanks to these Mutalists flying around. Because they're just killing off every single pylon in the main base. 2 Robos unpowered, Forge unpowered, Cybercore, Gateways. About to be some more Gateways unpowered. Padre now actually supply blocked. You see a couple of Disruptor shots going down, but not really connecting on too much. Mutas continuing to go huge in the main. As Padre realizes he's just got this one army to try and make something happen. Single Disruptor shot will come forward, gets a few creep tumors. Well, that's not really the connection he was looking for just then. As these Mutas continue to just pick up worker kills and more. This Hanfi looking very, very good now. A couple of Disruptors come in, picking up one of the Lurkers there. Of course, it takes 2 Disruptor shots to kill off the Lurker. You're going to see a single Disruptor sent forwards now, and well, again, I mean, the Disruptor's kind of connection is sort of okay, but the problem is he's not making game-ending damage like he's taking over here. He's down on a single probe. 1 probe is left in this game. It's here over here at the 3rd base. And we'll see him just starting to attack forwards, but there's so many Lurkers. This Protoss army really does not stand too much of a chance, I don't think. GG's going to be called. Padre realizing he's just a little bit... I think it's the only time this season we have had only a single game. Only 1 game played in a day. We've been doing very well at keeping the matches kind of grouped together and played one after the other to kind of bring you guys more of a show. So it's, well, pretty good to go into week 4 or so with only having 1 match which is kind of on its own. So bottom left side of the map, going to have our blue Protoss player from Flipside Tactics. It is going to be M. Canning down here to the bottom left side of Orbital Shipyard here, looking for victory for Flipside. His first victory of the season he's looking for, actually, as he goes up against the Red Zerg. To the upper right from EURONICS Gaming, it is Hanfi. Again, this is the first time we've seen Hanfi since the qualifiers, where EURONICS Gaming, well, they looked pretty darn good. They used Firecake in their first match to finish off. They went up to like 2-2 scoreline or something, then Firecake came in and won 2 in a row, and then in this final match, the actual qualifying match, they played against Gravity, and Hanfi was able to pull out the 4-0 then with some, well, there was some very fun, interesting games. As we're going to see, Hatch Gas Pool opening once again. So second CVP in a row for Hanfi now, and we'll see what exactly M. Canning wants to try and get up to here. As this probe going to come across the map and just have a little look to see what the build order is from the Zerg player. Is it going to be a free hatch before pool? No. Is it going to be a gasless play? No. Is it going to be hatch gas pool? Yes, it is, and that's exactly what he's about to find out. So I'm kind of just getting some early information as he comes on in, and he's just going to have a little bit of a look around, and yeah, he sees hatch gas pool. Back at home, it's going to be a Nexus finishing up already. Cybercore now on the way as well. So Nexus first. So I'm kind of just opening with a little bit of grid here. And surprised to see just a single gateway to follow this up. So single gate into Cybercore as this Nexus finishes. And then kind of just getting himself set up in towards his own mid-game. So again, as always in PvZ, not a lot going to happen for a little while. What's up, AF Louder? How are you doing? I'm doing pretty good, thanks for asking. Everything is alright in Newcastle. Everything's looking really. Everything is. I mean, yeah, that's Newcastle. But yeah, I'm good. Hope you're doing well as well. Sorry. My throat is pretty much better, by the way, guys. You might have realised the last couple of days that I was casting, as mentioned, that my throat has been a bit dry and stuff and a bit weird, but it's a lot better today, and it's actually meant that I could sleep a lot better, so I'm actually feeling really good today, which is nice. Got a lot of stuff to get done. Yeah, I keep playing ladder. It's not great. There's been another day where there's only one series. Yeah, okay, I think there was maybe. When I was saying it, I thought there might have been one more day. Yeah, I think it was actually another EURONICS match that was just one series. It was like EURONICS versus DC Visualize. But then we were casting something else on that day as well. So we've not had a stream where it's just been one Team League game and that's it. But I mean, okay, I mean, even if there was another one, it's still been very few, which is kind of my point. Which is nice because it allows it to be more of a show rather than a randomly show up for a quick Team League match then disappear again, which is what Season 4 was like, and that wasn't so great. Oracle's going to be coming out here, so early build order from M Cannon is going to be featuring the Stargate and the Oracle. 8 links coming across the map from Hanfi, but no Overlord really nearby the Protospace to do too much with, although the Pneumatized Carapace just finished, so actually we are going to see some Overlord drops starting to come into play. A bunch more Overlords starting across the map too, something this Oracle will see, well, he'll see the Zerglings. So Pneumatized Carapace is going to be heavy drop play coming in. Evolution Chamber is only just coming on the way now, though. And we'll see how much damage this first Oracle is going to look to try and get done. 22 more lings being made as Oracle might just have to come back home to try and defend. You know, Phoenix are not going to be super good at defending this, I don't think. I mean, obviously they can kill off the Overlords, but I mean, this one here just doesn't quite see the Overlords just yet, and that is part of the problem, as we're going to see Phone Overcharge having to be popped on this ramp, and, well, we'll start to pick away at a few of these Zerglings. Warp Gate is about to finish, so we're going to be able to see some warp-ins here. We've only got one gateway up, and that's obviously going to be slightly problematic too. Phoenix is going to find this Overlord over here, and Phoenix is going to find this Overlord here as well, so actually this Overlord looks as though it is going to go down before it can really get anything into the main. Phoenix needs to keep on chasing. Go, Phoenix, go. Phone Overcharge popped, but actually maybe needed that Phone Overcharge elsewhere. We're going to see Zerglings starting to stream their way through as they kill off the Zealot at the front. Sentry was in here just a little bit too late. Zerglings in the natural, Zerglings in the main, Zerglings absolutely everywhere, and oh no, this is looking to be a little bit disastrous for Canning, who just doesn't really have anything to defend with. He's got a couple of gates on the low ground, he warps in a couple of Adepts, but dealing with this is sort of just like, you know, it's all about just not letting them get in and deflecting it before the Zerglings stream in like this. GG, and these guys